Moved.
Governor Rosenberg, motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Governor Elliott. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we are ready for reports. We'll start with the President's report. Dr. Van Galen.
Thank you, Governor Plotnick. It's a pleasure to provide the board with an update on the progress of our university today. In my written report, the first item involves enrollment. We are seeing that more students are selecting Missouri Southern for their higher education experience. You may recall that last fall, new student enrollment increased more than 6% compared to the previous year. And what we see is that this momentum is continuing during our current spring semester with a 4.7% overall enrollment increase compared to 1 year ago. There are really many factors that positively influence enrollment in a very challenging environment. I'm certainly grateful to the Board of Governors supporting our strategies, such as initiatives for new degree programs developed by our faculty. But in the end, student recruitment and retention is really very much a team effort. And the progress that we are seeing here is a reflection of the efforts of so many people. So thank you, everyone, for that. Next, I want to provide the board with a legislative update. The House Budget Committee, chaired by Representative Cody Smith, has begun work on the fiscal year 2025 state budget. There's a long way to go in this process, and certainly when we know more about the state budget and projected enrollment for next year, we will begin to develop a budget proposal for the Board of Governors to consider at its June meeting. Our request to expand our statewide mission, which was already approved by the Coordinating Board for Higher Education, is being very well received in the state legislature. As a reminder, this expands our mission to include not only international education, but immersive learning experiences and health and life sciences. There are currently 3 legislative vehicles to support the mission change in Jefferson City: Senate Concurrent Resolution 22, Senate Bill 907, and House Concurrent Resolution 50. Over the past few weeks, the university has testified at the state capitol in favor of all 3 of these initiatives. I'm pleased to share that yesterday, the Missouri Senate approved Concurrent Resolution 22 by 26-4 vote, and that legislation is now on its way to the Missouri House. So very good progress in that regard. We are grateful for the support of our legislative delegation, especially Senator Jill Carter and Representative Cody Smith, who have really helped to move these efforts forward. Mark your calendars. In my written report to the board, I've highlighted several upcoming events. And certainly Thursday, April 11th, will be a very special day for our university as we break ground on the Roy Blunt Health Science Innovation Center. More information will follow, but the groundbreaking ceremony will be at 1 p.m. on the campus oval. The entire campus and the broader community is invited to join us for this special day. Following the groundbreaking at 2 p.m. in the Taylor Performing Arts Center, we will kick off the inaugural Wilcoxon Innovation and Health Sciences Summit. This is a 2-day event funded through the generosity of Dr. Bob and Dot Wilcoxon. The first speaker will be former U.S. Senator Roy Blunt, who will share perspectives on health care, including at the federal level. All sessions will be free and open to the campus and the public. My written report highlights other events in the coming months, including the World Music and Cuisine Festival and the Spring Campus Activities Board Concert, Plain White Tees. I will not ask for a show of hands for people who can name a Plain White Tea song, but that's another matter. Hey Delilah is the biggest one. That one I recognize. So these events will really add campus vibrancy to Missouri Southern and bring many visitors to our campus. Also, Mark Scott has prepared a list of upcoming events before you that you can review. To conclude my remarks, I want to highlight a recent event that really exemplifies how we always strive to focus on students as our priority. I know that our Staff Senate President, Ms. Hughes, has referenced the Dress to Impress event in her report, but I also want to mention it today. Now in its 10th year, Dress to Impress provides our students with new or gently used professional clothing and accessories free of charge. During the event, many of our staff serve as shopping assistants to offer guidance, since in many cases, our students are selecting their very first professional suit, dress, jacket, shoes, and so on. At Missouri Southern, we serve many students of modest means, and this event is a game changer for students participating in the event. All of this, of course, is to support our mission to educate and graduate knowledgeable, responsible, and successful global citizens. Thank you all. This concludes my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Dr. Van Galen? None. Thank you for your report. Next report, Executive Vice President, Dr. Brad Hodson.
Good afternoon. You have an update in your materials on a variety of projects we have going on campus, but I want to focus in on the Hearns Hall remediation and renovation. Just before you met in January, there was a water leak on the 3rd floor in the sprinkler system that impacted all 3 floors of Hearns Hall. And you can see in the report that just a few days later, we moved out 85 staff from that building into different locations across campus. And within just a few days after that, we had removed all the furnishings from a 45,000 square foot facility to a storage facility here on campus to begin the drying out of that. We hired Blackmon Mooring out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, who assisted us with the Lion Village water leak we had in the fall. They were fantastic. They were on site within hours of the leak. They drove right up from Tulsa and began work pretty quickly. Since that time, we have removed all the flooring where necessary because of the water damage. As you can imagine, we knew on the 2nd floor that there was vinyl asbestos tile from the 1967 construction of the facility. That has been removed and will be replaced with modern materials. And so by February 9th, all the flooring, everything was out of the building, and it was ready to begin the restoration process. Right now, we're focused on letting departments make choices on carpet and tile and paint. That meeting is this afternoon with all those staff liaisons from those offices. And we are still on schedule to be back in the building July 1 of 2024. I do want to acknowledge the work of the staff in facility services, information technology, university police, and all of the impacted offices in Hearns Hall. They've all been very cooperative and very understanding during this difficult transition. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your report. Questions for Dr. Hodson? Hearing none? Okay. Next, Provost and VP for Academic Affairs, Dr. Toms.
Good afternoon. Academic Affairs is proud that our areas continue to innovate and educate with excellence. And I think some of the things I'm going to mention today definitely illustrate that. First of all, since you received your report, we received notice that several anatomy research students from Missouri Southern are headed to Canada to present their studies at the American Association of Anatomy's annual meeting. Their outstanding work has earned them spots as finalists for the AAA Undergraduate Poster Award at AAA's Anatomy Connected event, set for March 22nd through 25th in Toronto. Out of 400 abstracts submitted from the U.S. and Canada, 8 projects were selected, and 2 of those were from Missouri Southern. Wow. That's a pretty good success right there. They were selected through a rigorous blind evaluation by AAA judges, and additionally, one of their presentations was accepted for an oral presentation, and we're told by faculty that almost never does an undergraduate group get selected for an oral presentation. So I think that is worth noting. So there are multiple students that are going on teams for the 2 presentations. And I can tell you the name of the presentations, but I wouldn't understand a word of it. So y'all just take my word, they're really good. The Division of Theater performed The Great Gatsby, February 29th through March 2nd. Each of the 4 performances were either sold out or nearly sold out, which is the best we've had in years. I will say that Dr. Archer and I were seated together on the floor of the Black Box Theater. We found ourselves in the middle of the production because the production was actually staged on the floor of the Black Box Theater where a large portion of the audience was sitting. It's very unique when you're sitting there and the actors are talking to each other across your table. I kept looking at Dr. Archer, who do I look at here? It was so innovative. It was just phenomenal. The acting was great. The staging was was very innovative and unique. So look forward to many additional productions coming from the theater department. As well, the concert band held their winter concert fracas on Thursday, February 22nd. They performed not just our students, but the music faculty, alumni, and future lions. So they actually invited high school students that were interested in coming to Missouri Southern to come and rehearse and perform with the band. There were several sectional ensembles performed, including brass, woodwind, percussion, and even a faculty ensemble. Very well done. On February 24th, the Missouri SBDC, Small Business Development Center, in collaboration with the Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce, hosted a training called AI Myth-Busting Panel Discussion. Dr. Sarah Holtzen, who is an assistant professor of management here, was one of the panelists. Throughout the event, participants had the opportunity to engage with industry experts and gain valuable insights into the practical applications of AI in businesses and personal use. The event was attended by a diverse audience, including entrepreneurs, business owners, students, academics, and tech enthusiasts. Their enthusiasm and curiosity about the future of business made the event truly dynamic and engaging. The Communication Department had 7 entries and won 2 prizes at the 2024 American Advertising Awards from the American Advertising Federation for this region. This is an annual regional advertising award that many regional universities participate in, such as Pittsburgh State, Missouri State, Drury, Evangel, Ozark Technical Community College, and of course, Missouri Southern. The first award was an audio public service announcement, or PSA, entitled Golden Law, that was created by a student, Shonda Kastner, and the second was a social media campaign project, One Joplin, created by multiple students, Mackenzie Puritan, Haley Smith, Corbin Beal, Oscar Campa, and Chad Anderson. The award ceremony took place on March 2nd of this year at Downstream Casino, and it's a wonderful opportunity for our students to network with professionals and with other students. That concludes my presentation.
Questions for Dr. Toms? Hearing none, thank you for your report. Next, Chief Financial Officer and Treasurer, Ms. Linda Ice.
Thank you and good afternoon. I'll begin with talking about Southern Summit. This is an event that's put on by our Human Resources Department. They put a lot of work into this. The summit offered about 18 sessions highlighting areas across campus such as academic programs, student engagement and support, cybersecurity, and other topics. The event had over 190 participants of our campus community attending those sessions. It was a great opportunity. We had campus experts come and share their knowledge, and they're very excited to do that, to be able to engage with the other employees across campus and share their knowledge and have some discussions on various topics. The keynote speaker spoke about the power of positive leadership. We as leaders set the tone, and we empower our team to succeed together as well as individually. I want to say congratulations to all the people who came together to make that event. We had facility services, IT, human resources. We had room monitors that helped with some of those sessions. But an extra special thank you to Laura Switzer, who is in human resources, and she was the one who coordinated that event. I know Dr. Van Dalen in his written report, he talked about the Gord Youth University. And on the finance presentations, we talked about sources of revenue and areas of expenditures. The sessions included a presentation, but I felt more importantly, it was a time spent on informal questions and discussions. It was a great opportunity to gather together. It was very well attended, and we had some great discussion. Fiscal year 2024 audit. It's that time of year again when we begin ramping up our work. We plan ahead for June 30th, which is our fiscal year end, so we are 9 months into this fiscal year. It's hard to believe that the audit is right around the corner. We work on audit questionnaires, monthly reconciliations, and then field work will begin in June. The 25 budget, it's also this time of year where significant work is done to develop the budget. Obviously, we keep an eye on enrollment and very pleased by the enrollment trends that we've been seeing this year. It obviously has an impact on the revenue side. And of course, we watch what's going on in the state legislature to see what This week, we made our semi-annual bond payment. It was about $900,000, and so that payment went out this week. For the statement of net position, our assets are $192 million, our liabilities are $135 million, and that gives us net assets of $57 million. We move over to the comparative statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in net position, and of course, we always look at the difference column. Operating revenue shows an increase of $3.2 million. Tuition is $1.8 million of that increase, as we talked about. We've seen really good strides in our credit hours and enrollment. Auxiliary is showing a $752,000 difference from the prior year, and that's made up of a couple of things. We have additional occupancy in the residence halls, and our bookstore, we are seeing our inclusive access, which is our digital, our ebooks for our students, and we are seeing continued growth in that as we slowly phase out the rental program. Operating expenses show an increase of $3.5 million. Big piece of that is our scholarships of a $1.6 million difference. We have talked about how this year we've offered these scholarships to our students, and we are seeing a lot of students that qualify for that and are coming to our campus, and so it's really good to see that they are able to take advantage of some of those new scholarships. Contract services shows a difference of $752,000. There's a piece of that is our Science to Jobs grant, our mobile money that has come through, and some of those expenditures will come through in there, but then I will talk a little bit later about where the offsetting reimbursement from the state comes in. Repair and maintenance is a difference of about $395,000, and in there is some of the remediation expenses for Lime Village and Hearns. Non-operating revenues shows an increase of $1.5 million. Of course, our base appropriations have increased over the prior year, and then you can see on there some of the appropriations reimbursement for the Science to Jobs of about $600,000. Other non-operating revenue has a difference of $354,000, and in that includes some reimbursements from our insurance. So we continue to monitor those as we have expenditures for those two events. We obviously are submitting those insurance documents, and we are starting to see those reimbursements come in for those two events. Other revenue, capital appropriations has a decrease of about $843,000, and a piece of that is because we had TPAC funding last year from the state. Income before other revenues, the current year has an increase of $6.3 million. The prior year had an increase of $5.1 million. So the difference between the 2 years is an increase of $1.2 million. That concludes my report.
Questions for Ms. Ice? Hearing none. Thank you for your report.
Thank you.
Oh, we will need approval, a motion to approve the financial report.
So moved.
Okay, Governor Haley, is there a second?
Second.
I'll take Governor Siebert. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, Dean of Admissions, Dr. Shelley Hewitt.
Good afternoon. So I would like to start with sharing with you how our university marketing team is telling Missouri Southern's story. So in my report, you see 2 examples showcasing our academic programs and general campaign in regards to health and life sciences. Additionally, we're promoting scholarship offerings and student life and immersive learning opportunities. In reviewing the data associated with our undergraduate paid searches, we found that our scholarship ads are performing best in regions outside of Joplin, and in Joplin, our student life and immersive learning ads are getting the most interaction. With increasing our reach outside of the local area, we've seen significant performance increases with our advertising in Pittsburgh, Tulsa, Fayetteville, Bentonville, Miami, Rogers, Anderson, Seneca, and Monette. In an effort to connect with more rural communities, we've had great success with YouTube ads, and in fact now have seen spiked interest in areas such as Grove, Girard, Columbus, Anderson, Granby, and Baxter Springs. This past month, we've seen the biggest growth with our graduate paid searches for our graduate program advertising. We've had significant growth in that area from Springfield, Tulsa, Neosho, Pittsburgh, Joplin, Webb City, Broken Arrow, Nixa, Ozark, Carthage, and Republic. Now moving on to fall admissions highlights. This semester, the admissions team and others across the campus have been very busy with campus events and visiting high schools and community colleges. Those efforts are paying off with increased freshman and transfer admits, as I've shared in my report. Also, graduate student admits is also moving in a positive direction, and our new graduate programs are performing quite well when it comes to applications and admits. As of this morning, graduate admits are up 300% from this time last year. So we're telling our story and welcoming prospective students and families to our campus so they can experience what it's like to be a Lion. And I believe as a campus, we're doing a great job of showcasing Missouri Southern as a top destination for education. That concludes my report, and I am happy to answer any questions you may have.
A lot of information. Questions from the board? Go ahead.
Grade admits are up and enrollment is up. Do we know, is our residence auxiliary housing up as well, or is it flat?
No, it's up. The revenue is up because the occupancies are up. A lot of that is due to last year at this time, especially fall of '22, we had a lot of the residence halls that were offline because of remodel, and those are coming back online. And we should be fully open. That's the goal, for us to be, everything to be fully open fall of '24.
Other questions? Congratulations, some great enrollment numbers. First-time freshman admits are up 13%. Where do you feel like that's coming from, or is it a combination of a lot of factors?
I think it has a lot to do with international student and apps and admits, as well as we're seeing a lot more students who are knowing the value of our MOSO Merit Scholarship.
Okay. Great news. Thank you for your report. Next, Director of Athletics, we have Ms. Corey Reed filling in as Rob Mallory is out of town.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to come speak on behalf of athletics in Rob's absence. So, since you all received your packets, we've had some updates and changes. Winter sports have concluded, with the highlight being our track and field team at the national championship last weekend. Our men's team, we sent 9 student athletes. Our men's team finished 5th as a team, which is just one spot out of the podium. So that was a really great finish for them. I'm very excited for them, along with 2 national champions. With long jump, we had John Watts finish as a national champion, and then Peyton Barton in the weight throw 2 years in a row now has been the indoor national champion in that. So very exciting for our track and field team on their indoor season. The inaugural Lion Pride Giving Challenge was held February 26th through March 4th. This was a new fundraising challenge that we wanted to give a shot this year and try, and our teams and coaches really, I think, embraced it and took on that challenge to see what kind of success we could have in year 1. And we were very thrilled with the results. We had donations from over 285 donors in the amount of $120,917. So it was a very successful first event for us, and I know there have been some meetings post-event to talk about ways to make it better for next year and try to bring in even more as we can. Spring sports, again, are off and running. We just finished our crossover season, so now we are just focused on spring sports. Baseball and softball are both in action today, actually, and their updates. Baseball currently has a 21-4 overall record, 9-1 in the MIAA. They will travel to Pitt State today. Head coach Bryce Darnell earned his 500th win on this Tuesday versus Rogers State in that win, so a very big accomplishment for Coach Darnell, and we're very glad to have him as a part of our team here at Missouri Southern. Softball is currently 20-7 overall, 3-1 in the MIAA. We started yesterday. We are currently hosting the MIAA NCIS crossover tournament this weekend, so a few games yesterday, today, tomorrow, and Sunday. So if you have a chance, there's lots of softball being played over across the street. Also, our men's golf team won their first tournament of the spring with two of our Lions, Trey McCray and Luis Limon, going first and second overall in that tournament as well. So a strong start for them. And then finally, in January, Dr. Van Galen, Mr. Mallory, and myself attended the NCAA convention. A few legislative items that you can see related to football here. But the highlight, I think, of that trip was our Missouri Southern softball student athlete, Kara Amos, who is currently the MIAA National SAC representative, was elected to serve as vice chair for the 24-25 year. So we're very excited for Kara. She's a tremendous student athlete and a great representative of Missouri Southern in athletics. So we're excited for her to be part of that convention and part of those discussions. So that concludes my report. Any questions?
Questions for Ms. Reed? Thank you for the report.
Thank you.
Next, Faculty Senate President, Dr. Jean Coulter.
I hope everyone had a good Pi Day yesterday. Faculty Senate, along with administration, has been having discussions about the pros and cons of going to a week-long off at Thanksgiving break. Currently, 10 out of 13 public universities in Missouri have that full week off. Like anything, there's good points on each side. We don't know what we're doing. We're still just talking about it right now. Thanks to Dr. Toms, we now have a new final exam schedule that should make things a little less confusing for students. That will go into effect next semester in the fall. Administration is looking into faculty contracts, moving them from 10-month to 9-month. No one really knows why we have 10-month contracts. It seems most universities and colleges have 9-month. So we're just trying to make sure there wasn't a reason behind that, and again, weigh the pros and cons on that. I hope I don't jinx myself again by including this, but hopefully the intellectual property policy, it made it through the first round already today. Hopefully that will get an approval here in a few minutes. That is 10 plus years of work from the faculty, Hush Blackwell, and administration. So faculty's excited for it to hopefully be done. Lastly, this is my last Board of Governors meeting. In June, Michael Balfus from English will be attending as president. So I just want to thank you all for being so welcoming. And for the last time, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Questions for Dr. Coulter? Hearing none, thank you. We've enjoyed having you here, and we'll welcome the new representative coming up. Thank you for your report. Staff Senate President, Ms. Alicia Hughes.
Thank you. Well, as Dr. Van Galen alluded to, Career Services headed up our Dress to Impress event, and it is a really awesome event. So I want to make sure Staff Senate doesn't take any credit for that, but it is an excellent event. But for the last half hour of the event, there was work done with Alex Gandy that kind of heads up the event to allow employees to shop for during the last half hour, if those employees agreed to help pack up the event. So we had 10 or more employees that benefited from that opportunity. So it was a great opportunity for them to get some great gear and to also help get Alex all cleaned up and done. location of Hearns, it kind of delayed us just a little bit. So we are planning to send an all-campus email soon and start soliciting donations like immediately. And those donations can be dropped off at 50102. And our plans are to open that swap shop closer to the summer, hopefully late spring. And I want to say thank you to Jean for your work and your support and your friendship during this. I'm going to miss you, and I just very much appreciate you and all the work that you've done. So, thank you. That concludes my report.
Okay, questions for Ms. Hughes? I have one. What's a swap shop?
It's we're going to have people donate like Southern gear that they're not.
Oh,
using,
Southern gear. Okay.
And a shop where the employees and students can come in and shop from that.
Okay, great.
Clean
Thank
out your
you.
closets.
Clean out your closets. Donate. Okay, next, student representative, Mr. Maddox Juthard.
Thank
Welcome.
you. Good afternoon. There are a few things I'd like to mention. First, I'm excited to report about one of our newest student organizations, Brother to Brother. This organization, a part of the national organization, Students of African American Brotherhood, or also known as SOB, is based in Springfield and is intended for all males of color and on our campus to take full advantage of their academic years. One of the objectives is that all B2B members be role models for each other as well as for other men of color in the community. It is our hope that B2B members will be well prepared to enter the workforce as professionals and be among the best competing for a meaningful place in their communities and in our society. To achieve these goals and objectives, B2B will provide educational and cultural activities for its members and others. I am a proud member of the organization and I currently serve as the vice president. Our other officers and committee chairmen are Jamarion Eldridge as the president, Meshach Hyoko as the secretary. Academic chairmen are Keon Holloway and Calvin Clark. Personal development chairmen are Cameron Neal and Maddox Studdard. Spiritual and service chairmen are Demarion Pierce Williams and Deontay White. Financial chairmen are Jaden West and Houston Rotich. And membership chairman is Meshach Hyoko. So several of us will be attending a national conference in Springfield next Friday. We want to hit the ground running. And we're also very thankful that Dr. Nee Abrams and Coach Atiba Bradley have agreed to be the sponsors of our new organization. And I appreciate Dr. Van Galen's support of diversity on our campus. And I'd also like to highlight some efforts by student organizations to help reduce stress and anxiety that can sometimes come up as we approach the end of a semester, which I know I've had a handful of. First, the Green Bandana Project on campus recently hosted their first of a 3-part self-care yoga series for students, faculty, and staff. Fellow governors, you are certainly invited to attend the next session, just let me know. Yoga mats are provided. The Green Bandana Project has been a visible presence on campus to help students deal with the pressures that can come, and many faculty and staff members have been great partners in this initiative. A special thanks to Senior Maya Greenquist, who has led the organization this year, and the next yoga series is April 3rd. Second, our Student Gardening Club recently had a fundraiser on Valentine's Day to support our proposed community garden on campus. Members of the Gardening Club are students who come from a variety of majors, and they just enjoy gardening. And many see it as a very stressful leaf. More to come on the community garden efforts on our campus, but it's an exciting initiative. And in recent news, our student senate here on campus is proud to say we have passed a motion to adopt the lion statue from the Rotary Club's Joplin Sculpture Garden at Mercy Park. Thank you for continued support of our students. It's been a fantastic time to be a student here at Missouri Southern. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Questions for Maddox? Thank you for your report. That concludes our reports. Now we'll move to board committees. Personnel compensation, Chair Governor Elliott.
We did not meet.
So no report. Thank you.
I have none.
Okay. Academic Affairs, our Chair Governor Rosenberg.
We met this morning. Several items of note were, if I can find them, well, I had it.
There we go.
There were 2 programs, 2 new degree programs, and 1 program that we were planning on dropping. These were approved by the committee, and I will bring them up for a vote of the board. Under new programs, there was a Bachelor of Science in Food Science and Nutrition. And I am told that this is not the typical nutritionist that we would see in a hospital or school setting, but in food science, such as in industry, and that there's a huge demand for this. The second new program is a Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Business, with an emphasis in entrepreneurship. And the third is to drop a Bachelor of Science in Entrepreneurship. And I will entertain questions for Dr. Sims, or I would accept a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the board's recommendation on the academic programs.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
I have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion passes, Mr. President. The next were, as Dr. Colthorpe brought up, changes or the intellectual policy. This was tabled at our last meeting. It's undergone several discussion and legal review. The committee approved it with several small changes. Those changes will be under Section 4 and Section 7. Under Section 4A, we would add a statement that expenses related to disputed resolution will be an expense deducted from net income. Again, under Section 5A, we would add a statement that no net income as defined in Section 4A and C will be distributed until all disputes have been resolved. And the last recommendation for change was under Section 7. The first sentence would be inserted that this policy will be reviewed initially in 1 year and at 3 years interval thereafter. The committee accepted this with those small changes, and I would be happy to accept a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Governor Seibert, and second?
Second.
Seconded by Governor Elliott. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion motion passes. Thank you, Dr. Colthorpe, for all your hard work.
Thank you, Governor Rosenberg. Okay. Budget and Audit also met today, and I'll turn that over to Governor Haley as the chair.
Yes, Budget and Audit met this afternoon. We had really one agenda item to discuss, and that is the undergraduate fee, which I think we are titling Lion Fee. And so that was discussed. The Lion Fee will be charged on a per credit hour basis, and it will circumvent, remove any and all preceding course fees and special program fees. And so that was approved by Budget and Audit, and so I will submit that as a motion for the board to consider as for approval.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the proposed new student fee model, Lion Fee. Governor Haley has presented the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Governor Elliott. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That concludes my report.
Thank you. Any old business to come before the board? Hearing none, we'll move to new business. We do have a few policies to review. Under new business, the board is asked to consider updates for 4 existing board policies, and they are in front of everyone. This process of review and update is consistent with the best practices for the work of the board. Our board counsel, Mr. Peter Edwards, has reviewed and provided proposed updates for each of the policies for the board to consider. I suggest that we consider the policies one at a time. For each policy, I would invite the opportunity for discussion, followed by a motion and a second, and I'll also invite Mr. Edwards to comment on any of the policies and proposed revisions. So first on the agenda is the board attendance policy.
Did we
red line versions for these, to know what the changes were available?
I think, February 12th, I think they were emailed out.
Okay, I'm sorry, I missed them, I was on vacation. Okay.
Any questions, discussion, anything on the first one, which is the board attendance policy?
I have a question, just a typographical correction on section 3, the second paragraph, second line. It says state of Missouri. I think the second of should be stricken.
So what should be stricken, Carlos?
It says notify the governor of the state of Missouri of within 30 days.
Oh,
I think
this-
the third of needs to be removed.
Yeah, the of after Missouri. Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions, changes, corrections? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion with the correction of removing the of after Missouri on the policy as it reads.
So moved.
Okay, Governor Rosenberg. Is there a second?
Second.
Governor Haley. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, the second policy review is the delegation of authority to university president policy. So any discussion, questions for Peter?
Good with that one.
There was a font issue in paragraph 3, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, under item 3?
Yeah, there's just a font change. I doubt that was intended.
Oh, got larger there. In the one that's in the booklet, it isn't. Mine isn't anyway, so. Mine's smaller, so, okay. What else? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion for the delegation of authority to university president policy changes.
So moved.
Governor Haley, second. Governor Elliott. All of those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Third policy, board conflict of interest policy. Open it up for discussion.
I have two changes, looks like under section 3 policy under procedure. Page 2, but there's a document reference in the first sentence, KP 46396691. I'm not sure what that's referencing.
Yeah, I thought didn't we talk about removing that? It's reference to a Missouri Southern existing policy, but I'm pretty sure we removed that policy number.
Okay.
So if you want to just strike the KCP and then that number.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the last one is under the section of disclosure of relationship, third line, where it says family relationship which the officer or employee may have with the prospective employee. I think officer or employee should state board member to be consistent.
Okay. Other questions, discussion, changes? Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve the board conflict of interest policy with the changes under procedure to strike the KCP policy and changes under disclosure of relationship to change that from officer or employee to board member. So moved. Governor Morgan and second Governor Siebert. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, the fourth policy review is the open records and notice of meeting policy. So open discussion on questions for Peter, changes, modifications? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the open.
I've got a
Oh,
quick
wait.
one. This-
Okay, go ahead.
These new red lines are just, the updated sunshine law. Yeah.
More or less, yeah.
I'm sorry,
You're fine. You need some more time?
nope, I'm good.
Good? Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve the open records and notice of meetings policy.
So moved.
Governor Elliott, second.
Second.
Governor Haley, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we have future meeting dates. Our next meeting is June 13th, 2024. And then we have the next 5 proposed meeting dates on the agenda. Also, I just wanted to thank everybody who's here. I know a lot of work and a lot of dedication to everyone who sits around this table, and those of you out in the audience for being leaders at the university. A lot of challenges this past year, a lot of unexpected things happen, and handling it professionally and leading the university. You all are just very important, and the board appreciates your hard work, your dedication, and the progress and the growth that the university has seen has just been fantastic in the last couple of years. So thank you all for everything you do on behalf of the board. We really do appreciate it. Okay, we will now move to executive closed session. So pertaining to RSMO 610.021 sections 1 and 3, I will entertain a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
Governor Haley, a second.
Second.
Governor Morgan, sorry. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And then we will have a roll call to go into closed session.
Governor Elliott.
Yes.
Governor Rosenberg.
Yes.
Governor Herschelway.
Yes.
Governor Haley.
Yes.
Governor Plotnick.
Yes.
Governor Morgan. Yes. Governor Biden.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you all. Have a great weekend.